Hello everyone. Wow, I've just run over my toe on my chair. Right, let's start again. Yeah. Hello everyone. So today I thought I'd bring you a video to try and help you protect yourself by selling consoles. When I first started selling consoles, I was selling, remember the big haul I did a while ago? I had about 30 Nintendo Wiis, that sort of stuff, and I was selling them all over the place, and after a while, a couple of them came back, and I couldn't work out why they came back. They were telling me on messages that they were faulty or didn't work properly. When I got them back, they sort of, yes, some of the errors which they said were on there, but I couldn't work out why, because I fully tested every single console, and I knew when they left me, they were 100% working and complete. But when things came back, they were sort of really weird faults, which I couldn't work out. Shh, Daddy's recording. Yeah, sort of on there. And also I've seen some people before about sending consoles into Amazon, and then buyers selling them back. Yeah, sort of on here. Oh, 2 seconds. Okay, he just started crying because Rhoda went upstairs. Where was I? Yeah, so people sending them back to Amazon as well, for really strange reasons again. So I was trying to think, well, because I had no leg to stand on, I had to issue refunds and that sort of stuff. I was thinking, well, I'm sending consoles out which I know fully working, 100% working, and people are trying to get money back. And I started looking into this. I thought, hang on a minute, what if they're buying a new console, because a console like Wii or Xbox or any sort of console only, to replace the one which they already had, which was broken. So what they were doing, how it seems that some people, not all people, but some people are willing to buy a new console, a replacement console, and then say, oh, it's faulty, and then send their broken console back to you as a return. Sort of on there. So I thought, well, how to tackle this? So this is what I did. The first thing I started doing is taking photos of the serial number and listing them onto my eBay listings or Amazon listings. So therefore, the first port of call, if they're going to try forgery claim and sort of fake returns and that sort of stuff, the first way to protect myself was to take the photo of the serial number and input that into the listing. So when they receive that item, they get the one which is serialized, and so that should stop any problems of them trying to send back a new one back to you, because when you get it, it doesn't match the serial number. So that's the first thing I did. The second thing I did was to create a console check sheet. Yeah, sort of on here. What I'll try and do, I'm actually writing a website at the moment. I launched it by mistake yesterday. I need to go back in and close it down. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to, this form and another couple of forms which I've created for myself and I think are really helpful, I'm going to put them onto a download link so you can just download them. But in a nutshell, I'll get it nice and close before. So basically it's on a console testing sheet. It's got my company name on the top there. And then it's got the console name, the console serial number, and the date checked. That's the first thing I do. So I've got the photo, then I've also got this. The reference number, this there, is my reference on the computer system, so I know which one it goes to. And then underneath that, I've then got these little boxes, and each console goes for the same sort of thing. Is it damaged? Yes or no, and I wrote a little comment. Does it power up? Does it insert the disc? Does it eject the disc? Does it read the disc? Does it play the game? Does it connect to controllers, and does it connect to the internet? Yeah, so these are all things which I have problems with, and then I sign it and date it. And at the very bottom, I have a little box that says, if for any reason you want to return this console, this sheet has to come back with it, with an exclamation inside it. Yeah, so since doing that, I have no returns whatsoever, because if they want to try to return a false console, it's on there, I only accept it with this. I also send an email out to them as well and say, if there is any issues, it has to come back with that form. If it doesn't come back with that form, it's not accepted. Sort of on here. So it's basically like their sort of warranty guarantee sort of thing on there, but you have to use that form, because then I know the console I'm getting back is the console which I sent out, okay, because it's got my signature, my paperwork, and then I can also look onto the computer system as well. So that is how I do it. I've just got my spreadsheet sort of up at the moment. I haven't actually sent too many out with this. This is a really recent sort of thing I thought of, and I haven't really been doing too many consoles at the moment because there hadn't been really good ones to pick up to sort of buy. I bought a few sort of thing on there. So I'm going to turn it around now so you can have a quick look. Yeah, so all it really is a spreadsheet sort of on here. So the first little thing is the reference number, which corresponds to the thing, the serial number of the item, the date I checked it, what console it was, any faults or anything which I've seen sort of on here. Yeah, and what I'll do, if I see any of these sort of faults on it, I will annotate that to the sheet which is on here. Yeah, so where it says damage and that, I will put a little note on there, say PTO, and I will write anything which is on here onto that sheet, and then any reason for returns and that sort of stuff. Yeah, so that is basically how I sort of check those sort of things on there. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to bring you over to my consoles. I've got a whole load of testing consoles sort of on here. Just a few little things which I found which can be faults for each console. So I'm just going to run through them all now. Okay, so this is in my array of testing consoles. So I've got PS1, PS2, PS3. I don't own a PS4. I don't really know if I'm going to get one yet. Xbox, no. Sega Mega Drive. I'm still waiting for a Master System. So I'm on here. Xbox One, Xbox 360, Xbox Original, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. Sort of over there. And then we've got the NES, the SNES, the N64. My brother's got a GameCube, so if I need to use that, but the Wii plays GameCube games anyway, so I want to test games. And then a Game Boy Advanced and a Game Boy 3DS. So these are my sort of testing consoles which I hold in the house for testing computer games, but also I'm going to just go through a little few things, and also got an Eno tab at the end over there for VTech. The first thing sort of thing with the PS1s sort of thing, the biggest problems you'll find with the PS1 sometimes is when you push the eject button, it doesn't actually open properly. Yeah, so the first thing I always do is each of these I'll press the button a few times just to make sure it does actually go down sort of on here, and likewise the buttons, yeah, sort of just push over there, have a general sort of look around. The PS1s as well, when you're looking at them, you have different sorts of PS1s. Can't remember the names of them at the top there, but you have different connections. Some will have big parallel ports which you can stick into, and some that there. So when you're listing it, just make sure you do actually take a photo of the back of the Xbox of the PS1, so people know which PS1 they're getting. If not, they make sure they hate it if they get the wrong sort of one. Yeah, sort of on here. The serial numbers for these are all on the back, nice and easy, sort of over there. But usually as well, that this one, if the console's ever been opened up at all, there's a screw underneath all the serial numbers. Is usually always a screw. Yeah, so to open them up, you've got to pierce or take off the label. So you can also check for see if it's ever been modified and that sort. If they've been opened up, they've probably been modified or fixed in the past. So just bear in mind when you're listing them as well on there. So that's the PS1. PS2, same sort of thing. This is a slim. Just press the buttons. Yeah, sort of make sure they open up and that sort of stuff. Just a few little times. Again, they have all the different ports on the back, Ethernet ports and that sort of stuff, and networking for those sort of games. But nowadays you can't actually connect the PS2s up to the internet to do any sort of online gaming anyway, because they're quite an old system. Sort of over there. So that's that one. PS3s. Oh, nearly lost her. Yeah, PS3's the only way to eject and test things is actually putting things inside it. I know this one's quite slower up at taking CDs in. I've opened it up in the past to look at why, and there's no reason for it. It's just a slow thing to take it in, but it does actually work. I had to remove these stickers. Yeah, as you can see, I've removed these stickers because there's slight sort of picking up on the edges sort of on here. I've stuck them back down so I know they're in there, but there are screws, but if you look at them very carefully you can actually see they've been removed on there itself. Plus I've also got a few little covers missing where I've had to break them open to get the screws out. So other things you can check on when you're actually looking at those. So that's them. On the Xboxes, again, generally with the Xboxes, you need to push the buttons, power them up to make sure the drawers open and shut. What I find quite a lot with these sort of drawers, what opening and out, you can get dirt build-ups inside of the runners, especially on this one here. It's got a major problem, which I know of. I bought it like it. Like I wanted the games to sell off, and it does work eventually. But it's sticky inside it. I can open this up, I just haven't got my own to open it up just to clean the runners. But again, if you're going to do that, you need to know what you're doing. There's lots of videos on it, but you need to note that on the system that you have opened it up to clean the runners to make sure the drawer works properly. So you're going to get no complaints sort of coming over. Yeah, so but when it comes to the Xbox One, it's just a CD what gets injected into it. It's sort of on this. You don't have the runner problem sort of over there. Right, so that is the Xbox sort of things, any sort of tips and that sort of over there. These will connect onto the internet, so I make sure, because they do connect onto the internet, I make sure the network card is running, so I always load and sign into my internet at home just to make sure the Wi-Fi card is actually working inside it. Yeah, if not, they're going to get returned straight away, because all Xbox games and PS3 games all require you to play online. Yeah, for the NES sort of thing on here, so I make sure when I put disc inside it, yeah, it holds down, yeah, sort of over there. The buttons all work, sort of thing. Again, with the NESs, you've got the connections on here, and what a lot of people are looking for all the time is sometimes these sort of numbers. Yeah, you got model numbers, yeah, sort of on here. List those sort of things as well, because people like those sort of things, and also what numbers you've got on here. If you've got number 1, they're worth quite a lot of money. I can't remember if this NCS 001 is worth a lot or not. I did look at it once, and I can't remember sort of on here. But again, 1985, people who collect retro consoles like this want to know these sort of dates and that sort of stuff, so you can list all that and you're going to help sell it sort of on here. And you've got the serial number, which is just on there itself. Problems with cartridge consoles on here, other than this one's been very, very yellowed, is the contacts which are just inside these sort of things. What a lot of people did is they used to get cartridges, and if they didn't work, they used to blow inside this, blow in the cartridge, and what that did, that used to put moisture into the cartridge or into the terminals, and then form a little bit of rust sort of inside it. So you might find that sometimes you put a game inside it and it's just not loading or not reading anything at all. So the easiest way of actually making sure you're going to get it to work is to get some rubbing alcohol and some small sort of cotton bud seed, and just wipe that on the terminals to see if you can remove any sort of residue, sort of moisture and that off the terminals. Leave it to dry. Generally then, when you put the new cartridge in, it'll generally work. They're sort of on there. So again, put cartridges inside it. Okay, so where were we? Sorry about that. I had to go pick up my Oliver up from school. He's got sand in his eye. He's all back and sorted now. So just talking about how to fix the sort of cartridge not reading properly. This little bit here is for a memory expansion unit. I'll put a picture up on the display in front of what I'm talking about very shortly. But basically, when you get them, have a quick look inside it, and you'll see something inside there red, which is on the screen now. You see there, you can sell those on their own for around about £25, anything between sort of £20 to £25, depending on quality and that sort of stuff on it. So back onto the console now. So that basically goes inside there, and it basically means you can store games and save games onto the console on there itself. Because a lot of the cartridge games, you couldn't actually save things onto the cartridges. There was one or two games you could do it. I think Zelda was the very first one you could do it on the NES. But most of the time then you just had to play the game and just keep playing it until you finish or get level codes and that sort of stuff, like with the Mega Drives. Same sort of thing with the cartridges with the Mega Drives. Same sort of thing, check inside it, sort of on here. And most of the things always saved to the cartridge or didn't save at all. But you did get expansion units which take on the side some of the newer versions of it on there. Moving on to now, so you've now got the Nintendo Wii. So there's two sorts of Nintendo Wiis. I don't have the other style with me, I don't think. Bear with me 2 secs. Okay, I've just been upstairs to see if I had one, and I didn't even realise that I had another 1, 2, 3 Wiis and a drive unit sort of sitting there. So what I was talking about, there's two sorts. You've got, up until 2015, the Wiis had these little flaps in them, and what they had backward capability to allow you to play Xbox GameCube games and place the GameCube controllers inside there, and the GameCube memory cards, which sat inside the controllers and sort of thing, expansion units, inside this little bit on here. After 2015, they removed this and just had one solid panel which you couldn't take off. That didn't really take off too well. They stopped selling them in Japan fairly shortly after they did that, and yeah, shortly after that, and it didn't really take off in the UK afterwards. Fairly shortly after that, they then started producing the Nintendo Wii U, which had backwards capability to play Wii games, sort of on here itself. That's what I'm missing. I'm missing my Wii U. I'll go grab that 2 secs. Yeah, there we go. Found them now. Found the Wii U, and I also found the Mini. So I'll talk about that shortly. Yeah. So the Wii U had the backward capability to play these games, but so if you had an N64, you still need. If you had a GameCube, you still either need a GameCube or the old console. Other things to look out for as well is this little section here. This is a memory card expansion unit. You can get official memory cards which go in it. I always check inside there, because you can sell them for about £5–6, up to £10, depending how big they are, each on there itself. So when you're listing these, you want to list them either pre-2015 or post-2015, because that depends on the value of them. The pre ones are worth a lot more, £5 more some of the time, than the newer ones. Again, you've got the serial numbers and that sort of stuff on the side. Unlike most of the consoles sort of on here, the Wii U's, their main fault is they tend to not read discs, because there's a problem with the disc drives, and they were made quite cheaply and sort of quite crudely sort of inside there. But what you can do with the Wii's, if you've got lots of ones which are damaged, and so I've got one here which is really beaten up and scratched up case. It's got modified sort of chips inside it, so I'm going to wipe that. That's just stuff that's been downloaded. When you go to load them on, if you see it's got I can't remember the name of the homebrew channel, that means someone's downloaded a program on it to allow you to save games onto the memory card, which is basically make breach and copyright sort of thing. So generally, as a reseller, I format these drives and turn them back to original, because I don't want to be known as a fraudulent sort of counterfeit seller sort of on here. But then again, I format every single drive I can to try to wipe any personal details off it and set it back to factory settings anyway. So that's the sort of thing. So what I'll end up probably doing with this one, because the case is so knackered, I've got one here which says working but very noisy, i.e. the CD drive is really noisy. So what I might do is, to make it easier, I'm going to take this apart, take this one apart, take the CD drive out of that and put the CD drive into that, and then sell that as a unit sort of on here, and just sell it as reconditioned. So if you do have to fix them and that sort of thing, they are quite easy. All you're going to do is I might do a video on this. Someone's asked me to do it before. I'll probably put one out, but there's also other people out there. But all the drives, they are slightly different. The 2015 ones only work in the 2015 one, post 2015. But ones after that, there's 3 different versions, but they all seem to work inside the drives regardless. But when it comes to the 360, they are coded. Each CD drive is coded to the actual drive itself. You need more software in that to decode them and recode them, so that's a complete waste of time, not worth the effort at all. If you only do 1 or 2, so I just sell them off as broken and let faulty repairs and someone else do it for me. But I tend to fix these. And then you got the Wii U's. So not really much to sort of on here. You've got the expansion units and the USB sort of slots sort of inside there on there itself. Other than that, they're basically exactly the same as one of those. And then finally, I've got the Game Boy Advance, which allows me to test Game Boy Advance games, and I've got a 3DS, which allows me to test DS games, 3DS games, and 2DS games, sort of on there. Black Pokemon Sun and Moon edition. I've also got the Black Pokemon edition of DS as well somewhere. So we've got those for testing those sort of things. With these, it's got to test the screens to make sure. Again, the cartridges sometimes will work, sometimes won't, because someone's been blown into the things, general things. But I just want to show you the difference between these two. Yeah, so this is the Mini and sort of thing over there. Yeah, so you can see the difference, sort of how small that actually is, sort of on here. So, I just wanted to show you anyway. But one disadvantage I found when actually having this is it's mini, but everything's mini. Even the lead between me to playing is only about 50, 60 centimeters long. Yeah, so I've got to sit on the floor in front of the telly to play this. I can't sit on my sofa. You'd have thought for technology nowadays they would have made this Wi-Fi. Wireless, so you can actually get to it or make it a bigger lead, so we'll get to it. But other than that, it's got 50 games on it. Thoroughly enjoy playing it. It's a good laugh, kids love it as well. So hope you enjoyed that sort of little video. I just wanted to put something different out about testing yourself, protecting yourself for sending out consoles, and I just thought at the end of it I'd just give you a little sort of heads up on some sort of common sort of issues that I come across and mini little fixes how to deal with them before you post out your game consoles. But hope you enjoyed this. Put a like down below if you did. If you don't already subscribe. My new website will be launched in the next couple of days, and I'll be putting those little sheets inside there. And what I'll do, I'll put an announcement on my Facebook page, and also I'll do a video just to say yes, it's now uploaded, and I'll do a little screenshot sort of tour of my new website, and that'll be in the next couple of days when I finish it off. But thanks again, I'll see you later on. Bye for now.